Brazilian prosecutors sue demanding removal of sunken livestock carrier. This is from the Maritime Executive, and it was published on the 27th of November, 2025. A decade after a livestock carrier sank at the dock in the Brazilian Amazon region, public prosecutors are suing, demanding an immediate removal of the hulk, remediation efforts, and further compensation for the damages. The sinking of the vessel named Eider in October of 2015 is considered one of the worst environmental disasters in Brazil's history, and prosecutors contend that the remediation and recovery has been bungled. The Federal Public Prosecutor's Office in the Para region of Brazil filed suit on November the 25th, requesting an urgent decision from the court. They are asking the court to order the defendants to present within 30 days a preventative plan for the removal of the oil still on board the ship. They also want the court within 60 days to order the removal of the hulk, including the oily residue still on board and the skeletal remains of as many as 5,000 cattle that were on board the ship when it went down. The case is also demanding an updated environmental assessment of the waters and sediment in the Para River near where the vessel sank. They also believe a new environmental remediation plan is required. The prosecutors are asking the court to award nearly $1 million due to the damage to the quality of life, tourism, and fishing. They are also calling for $17,000 award for a new fund for the region. The Eider was alongside loading cattle for export when the vessel began to list early on October 6, 2015. According to the reports, the captain suspended loading, but the animals became scared and moved to the side of the ship, increasing the list. Later reports blamed tidal conditions on the river and found that the side ports had become stuck on two fenders on the dock. The ship was unable to move, and with the tide, rolled onto her side. Some of the cattle were able to escape the vessel, and a few were saved, but many drowned. The carcasses of as many as 1,000 cattle were retrieved from the river or washed ashore on beaches about 2.5 miles from the wreck. The remains of as many as 3,900 cattle are believed to be trapped inside the ship. The ship, which was built in 1994, was nearly 6,500 DWT and operated by a shipping company from Lebanon. The company, along with the local agents, is named in the suit, along with Brazil's federal government and state government. The suit contends that there's approximately 700,000 liters of oil and residue trapped on board the ship. In a worst-case scenario in the Environmental Control Plan, it estimates there's 215,000 liters of diesel fuel and lubricants aboard the ship. After the initial sinking, there was a new leak from the ship in 2018 and a further complaint in 2022. The suit points to flaws in the previous attempts at remediation. In 2019, a contract was awarded for the removal of the hulk, but it was later terminated without the work having been undertaken. The suit says that the efforts resulted in inadequate technical measures that failed to completely remove the fuel from the hulk. That was part of the outcome from the February 2018 agreement, which also provided $1.4 million for families affected in the region and $560,000 for a community fund. The suit reports that the swimming remains prohibited in the area and that bars, restaurants, and guest houses have all closed. It was once a popular tourist destination, and in addition, the residents are unable to fish in the waters. What an absolute disaster, and this happened over 10 years ago, and still hasn't been cleaned up. She's still sitting next to the dock. For 10 years, more than 10 years. That's absolutely insane. It destroyed the local economy, the local waterways, and the government or no one has done anything about it. That's insane. Hopefully these guys can get some answers and get this cleaned up sooner rather than later. What an absolute mess. If all that oil and fuel gets into the river, then they got even more problems. Livestock carriers. Awesome ships, every one of them. All right, guys, there it is. As always, thanks for watching. If you're new here and you like these kind of videos, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you on the next one.